Okay, so I am on page 80. This is part 3 of Module 2, Lesson 4. And you've got situations where you may be creating and solving inequalities that have variables on both sides. So we've done variables that you have to use the distributive property with. We've done really simple inequalities, and now we're doing inequalities that have variables on both sides. So let's look at this first example. It says the Daily Info, which is a newspaper apparently, charges a fee of $650 plus $80 per week to run an ad. The People's Paper charges $145 per week. For how many weeks must an ad run for the total cost at the Daily Info to be less expensive than the cost at the People's Paper? Let W be the number of weeks that the ad runs in the paper. Okay, so just a little bit of thought. If I only run an ad for a week, the Daily Info is going to be really a whole lot more expensive. It's going to be $650 plus another $80 for that 1 week. That is like, what, $730? So to run just a 1 week ad in the Daily Info, $730. To run a 1 week ad in the People's Paper, it's only $145. But because the weekly charge for the Daily Info is smaller, eventually, after a certain number of weeks, the Daily Info is going to be cheaper, but it's not going to be cheaper at first because of that, that flat rate that they charge as well. Okay, so write an inequality to represent the situation. So we've got $650 plus $80 per week. That's the People's Paper. Okay. Sorry, that's Daily Info, so daily. And then we want to know how many weeks is it going to take for the Daily to be less than the People's Paper. So this other one is the People's Paper. Okay. So here's what they did. They took $80 or 80W from both sides. Okay. So 80 minus 80, it cancels out there. And over here on the left-hand side, you now have just 650. And over on the right-hand side, 145W minus 80W gives you 65W. And then I can divide both sides by 65, and I wind up W has to be more than 10, or 10 is less than W. Okay? So the total cost at the Daily Info is less than the cost at the People's Paper if the ad runs for more than 10 weeks. Okay? So if the number of weeks, read it this way, if the number of weeks is more than 10, then the People's Paper is going to be more expensive and the Daily Info is going to be less expensive. Okay? All right, then we have Home Cleaning Company. The Home Cleaning Company charges $312 to power wash the siding of a house, plus $12 for each window. Power Clean charges just $36 per window, and the price includes power washing the siding. So how many windows must a house have to make the total cost from the Home Cleaning Company less expensive than the Power Clean? Let W be equal to the number of windows. Okay, so the Home Cleaning Company is going to be $312 plus $12 a window. Okay, so that's your home cleaning. Power Clean is just a flat 36 per window. So we have 312 plus 12W less than or equal to 36W. Okay, so they're going to move the 12W by subtracting it from both sides, which gets rid of it right here. And you now have 312 is less than 24W. Get W by itself by dividing both sides by 24. 312 divided by 24 is 13. So a house must have the number of windows must be more than 13. Y'all could make it read from left to right if you did this, okay? Same thing up here. You could make this read left to right if you wanted to put the W on the left-hand side, okay? So a house must have more than 13 windows for the home cleaning company to be less expensive than the power clean, okay? If you've only got a few windows, the home cleaning company is going to be a lot more expensive. All right, if you had to have divided by a negative 24 in the last step, remember dividing or multiplying by a negative is going to flip the sign. So that's what they wanted you to remember here. Okay. Okay, so at this point, we didn't really go through 8, 9, 10, or 11 in class, although you're certainly welcome to work those, and you can come get with me if you're having trouble with them. Remember that the homework is the odds for this lesson, and that you do not need to do the lesson performance task on page 84. Okay?